the most compassionate and gracious. I forgive you, and I
appreciate so much that very gracious introduction, and whenever I'm given an introduction like that, I always
very gracious and very keen and
says that God will make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Now, I wrote in my
great defender of women, gracious lover of men, she comes to serve you her love.
Along with me, it is on the screen as well. He writes,
let's be gracious for the food that we have in front of us, the amazing opportunity.
Schedule, including Gloria, who's been so gracious with her time in coming here today. She's got an incredible.
He has caused his wondrous works to be remembered. The Lord is gracious and merciful. He provides food for those.
So, Lord, be gracious to us. Show yourself mighty.
Was this gracious of the president?
Look, I think the president's tweet speaks.
Secretary Carter, I could not be more grateful for your gracious words, but more importantly for your outstanding leadership.
That you're bumping up against and being gracious enough and vulnerable enough to let us all see what you're going through.
So I am gracious and grateful that people thought of us, but I'm not as excited about those.
It's gracious of you, and congratulations to everyone in the audience for finding a place to park. I guess you get.
And then they were very gracious and generous and involved me in the development process.
Make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.
You know, it wasn't even about Jesus at that point in time. Again, God is so gracious, and I love the fact that for me,
thank you so much for that gracious introduction, Liz. I feel like there's nothing.
Calling Madison in her flower. She was gay, she was gracious. She always sought out the most awkward, uncomfortable person in the room and to put.
My goodness gracious. Look at Europe right now. Occupy Wall Street.
Were respectful and gracious toward me, both publicly and privately. Overall, the press coverage of me.
Your kindness and gracious hospitality will not be forgotten.
Upon you and be gracious unto you. Yehovah, lift up.
Here, and as you can see from Mario's gracious introduction and the title of my talk.
And for your gracious introduction, and more importantly, Thelma, very gracious of you. And Governor
Ooh, good gracious Ignatius, she exclaimed. That's disgusting.
Expedition, and Bill was very gracious in that. In fact, most
gracious and creative God, the privilege is ours sustained.
they are. He said, the gracious gifts of the Most High God